Welcome to Stonewatch. This is my open spoiler discussion for Marvel Studios' Black Widow. If you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you get notified for future videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, man, after a year and a half, I was finally able to get back into the theaters, and what a better kick-ass way to do that with the latest from the MCU, Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson and Florence Pugh. No, man, I gotta say, I thought this movie was pretty damn good, but I'll have to admit, I also went into this movie with the mind frame, no matter what happened in this movie, nothing was going to happen to Natasha Romanoff, right? I mean, because we know she goes on to be in 2 more movies, and spoiler if you don't know, she dies in Endgame. Just saying. And again, just like I said at the top of this video, this is a spoiler discussion type video. Now, granted, this is being recorded, so there's like no chance of someone being in the live chat and being spoiled or anything. But if you are watching this video, I will be talking about spoilers for Black Widow, just so you know. Now, I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was weird, interesting, and cool at the same time. Now, here's the story. I was running late getting to the movie, okay? So when I was sitting down and getting all situated, the trailers were already playing. Now, I was only half paying attention to the trailers that were playing because I've already seen them all. We got a Snake Eyes trailer, we got an Eternals trailer, and we got a Shang-Chi trailer, and not in that order. And I want to say there was at least one more other trailer and maybe a couple commercials and what have you. And then once I was like settled and like I'm like watching these trailers and the commercials, they started playing like what looked like to be a Black Widow trailer. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you actually going to play a trailer for the movie I'm about ready to watch? Really? That's weird. I mean, but it was kind of like a trailer, but not really. What it was the shut your phone off announcement thing that they do before a movie starts, right? Which I thought that was kind of weird because that's pretty much what it was. It was like clips from the movie, which I don't think all these clips that were in this thing were actually in the movie. At least I don't think so. Maybe once I see the movie a couple more times and go, hey, I remember seeing that. I don't know. All I can say is they had like the text and the fonts and stuff like that. Shut your phone off. But it was pretty much like clips from Black Widow. So I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. Never seen that before. And it just pretty much went right into the movie, like right after this. So that's why I know what it was. So I don't know. I thought that was weird. I thought that was interesting. And it was kind of cool a little bit. I guess it was different, right? Did you do the same thing at your movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Black Widow is a 2021 American superhero film based on the Marvel Comics featuring the character of the same name. Produced by Marvel Studios and distributed Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. It is the 24th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the first film in the MCU Phase 4. The film is being directed by Kate Shortland and the screenplay is written by Eric Pearson. Set in the events between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. The film sees Romanoff on the run and forced to confront conspiracy tied to her past. Development of the Black Widow film began in April of 2004 by Lionsgate with the director David Hayter attached to write and direct. The project did not move forward and the character's film rights reverted to Marvel Studios in June of 2006. Johansson was cast as a role in several MCU films beginning with Iron Man 2 in 2010 and began discussing a solo film with Marvel at that time. Work began on the film in late 2017. Shortland was hired to direct in 2018. Jack Schaefer and Ned Benson contributed to the script before Pearson was hired. The film took place between May and October of 2019 in Norway, Budapest, Morocco, Pinewood Studios in England, and also in Atlanta and Macon, Georgia. Starring in this movie, we have again Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, David Harbour, O.T. Fagbenley, Ray Winstone, Rachel Weisz, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, Olga Kurylenko, and William Hurt, just to name a few. Now, I thought this movie was a lot of fun. There was a lot of action in this movie, and that end credit scene that we got in this movie, I cannot wait to see that pay off. But I have to say, if it wasn't for the rest of the movie, I probably wouldn't really care about that end credit scene. But it did set it up pretty well, and I cannot wait to see that actually pay off. Currently, this is sitting at a Rotten Tomato score of 80% and an audience score of 92%. So that's pretty damn good for your opening weekend. Now, with the budget of $200 million, Black Widow has set a post-pandemic box office record with $80 million domestic and $78 million internationally. Now, they're also reporting it brought in an extra $60 million for that Disney Premium Access. Now, that's like over $218 million opening weekend, which is pretty damn good in this post-pandemic world. Now, a lot of speculation out there is saying that the only reason why we know how much it made from Disney Plus because it was actually on the plus side for the first time. Now, this is the fourth movie that Disney did this for. Now, first one was Milan. I thought that movie was pretty damn good, a lot better than I thought it was actually going to be quite honest with you. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I didn't pay the extra $30 for it. I waited to be available on Disney Plus just as for the subscription alone. I thought it was pretty damn good. Now, I couldn't get into that Ray and the Last Dragon movie. I tried, and I just could not get into it. Now, the other one, Cruella, I want to see that movie, but I didn't want to pay the extra $30. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to wait for that to be available on Disney Plus just with a subscription. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing that movie when I don't have to pay the extra $30. You know what I'm saying? So 15-2, I went matinee, mainly because I'm cheap. I'm not saying that Black Widow's not worth paying more than matinee price for it. I'm a cheap man. That's all it is to it. And I wanted to see it in the theaters. But in all reality, when you count in the popcorn and the Reese's Pieces and a diet soda, pretty much came close to paying $20 total. If you count it, once you count in the ticket too. So I was almost up to $30. I think Florence Pugh did a really good job in this movie, but I will admit I'm not too familiar with all the other movies she's been in. I mean, I remember talking about them on my channel when I covered the box office and how things were doing from week to week, but I didn't see them because the Little Women, I'm sorry, that just did not appeal to me. Midsommar, that looked like a really messed up movie. Fighting with My Family, I'm not into wrestling. I'm sorry, I'm just not. Now, The Outlaw King with Chris Pine, that looks pretty damn interesting, so I'll have to go check that movie out. And then I thought I saw something on her filmography called something about Little Drummer Girl. I'm a drummer, so I'm definitely have to go maybe check that out and see what that's all about. As far as the rest of the cast is concerned, I thought that David Harbour was hilarious. I mean, I loved his version of Red Guardian. Now, I kind of remember that character from the comics back in the day when I was collecting, but just a little bit. But I thought he did a pretty damn good job. I thought he was hilarious. Now, a couple of things about this character has got me kind of curious. They kind of portrayed him having superhuman strength. Now, as far as I know, on all the videos I've watched and the article I've read, none of the versions of the Red Guardians actually received any super soldier serum. They definitely didn't get the Erskine version, the super soldier serum that Steve Rogers got. None of them got that, at least. So I'm kind of wondering if they're trying to say that he did get some form of a super soldier serum, because later on in the movie, Black Widow said, "Come on, super soldier." And I'm like, is he a super soldier? I thought that, because up at this point, even in the timeline when we're after Civil War, the only ones that we know for a fact at this point that actually had the super soldier serum was Steve Rogers, the Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley, and let's not forget Red Skull. Red Skull had the super soldier serum. It made his face go red, but he still had the super soldier serum and the strength and stuff to go along with it. And this is before Johnny Walker, so you can't even bring him up in this one. So I don't know, man. What do you think? Do you think he actually took some form of a super soldier serum? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't know. Let me know what you think. So anyway, another thing about this character that he kept on bringing up through the whole entire movie, a little bit it was kind of comical, but he kept on bringing it up that he fought Captain America. Now again, this movie starts off in 1995. Now in the MCU timeline right now, Captain America is frozen, right? Because he didn't get thawed out till 2011. So I was just pretty much there's no way they could have actually fought because Captain America was frozen. So I have to say that when they announced that they were going to bring Taskmaster into this movie, I'm like, oh, that is so cool. Now, granted, they did changing the gender to Taskmaster in this movie, and that doesn't bother me because it fit the movie. It fit the story of the movie. I thought they could have maybe set that up a little bit better, but other than that, I thought it fit the movie. Now, in the comic books that I read, the Taskmaster actually taught John Walker how to use the shield like Captain America does. And he had some kind of a school called the Taskmaster Academy that he ran, where he would show people it didn't matter, as long as you were paying, he'd show you what you wanted to know. Now, the other villain in this movie, General Dreykov. Now, as far as I've read so far, and all the research I've done so far, he's not based on any one comic book character. More like he was a combination of other characters put into one, because nobody really knew exactly who ran the Red Room. So they took 2 or 3 characters and they pretty much blended them all together for this guy. Now, he was mentioned in the first Avengers movie, which I have to admit, I missed that. And I probably heard the name, but I didn't really think anything of it when I watched the movie at the time, because it was the first Avengers movie. I was more geeked about, hey, there's Captain America, there's Thor, and there's the Hulk, and Iron Man. All in one movie. This is so cool. You know what I mean? Because when that movie came out, it was the first time that we saw these characters together on the big screen. I know that was one thing about this Dreykov character, dude, because when he had Black Widow where he wanted her and stuff like that, he pulled that James Bond villain thing. You know what I'm saying? Where, okay, this is my plan. This is what I had going on. And here it all is. Haha, what are you going to do? And they always turn it around on them. They always like shut it all down. The hero always like, oh, thanks for telling me what I needed to know. And she even says it, right? I mean, that was like that classic line that she did with Loki and all that other crap. I thought that was kind of funny that she did that. But so I don't know. I thought that was like, at first I'm going, really, are you like laying out your plan? I didn't expect them to actually do that. And when you see stuff like that, it's like, okay, it was kind of funny because like it was pretty much laying out everything she needed to know. So I thought that was kind of weird. I thought that the dynamic between Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson was pretty cool. I thought it was like actually believable. It kind of made me believe that they were actually sisters that grew up with each other. Now, in the synopsis for this movie, it said that they spent a long time gathering up that intel from S.H.I.E.L.D. I wonder exactly how long do you think they actually were there? How long do you think they were pretending to be a family? You know what I mean? I mean, how that would be messing up with your head anyway. And then they go into training for like to do that kind of thing. So it was like, I mean, how much did they know already at that point? It kind of makes me wonder. You know what I mean? Let me just think about that in the comments down below. I mean, I thought this movie was pretty good. Now, granted, it was a prequel. Didn't know exactly how much it was going to play into future MCU events. So I thought the action sequences in this movie were totally top-notch, totally MCU level type stuff. I mean, it was just awesome to watch. That whole falling down scene in the floating city, that was pretty damn awesome. Now let's talk about that end credit scene, right? Julia Louis-Dreyfus returns as Valentina Elorga del Fontaine. Now, technically, this was supposed to be the first time we actually meet this character, but due to the whole global pandemic thing and Black Widow being delayed like 3 times and we finally get to see it this weekend, the first time we meet this character was in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I agree with the one breakdown video that I watched. It didn't really matter which one that you saw first, if it was this one or if it was the Falcon Winter Soldier appearance. Neither one of them takes away the impact of her showing up to do the character. I think she does a really good job with this. I can't wait to see if she gets more of a prominent role further on down the road, because now she has recruited 2 people for her company or whoever she's working for, which I want to know exactly who she is working for. Now, in the comics, she worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. and then at one point she actually became like Madam Hydra or some stuff like that. So now I'm not saying that's what she's going to do. So I'm kind of like wondering who she's recruiting these people for. And why is she sending Elena after Hawkeye? Let me just think about that in the comments down below. I did think that the whole family dynamic thing was actually kind of cool, but again, it leads me right back to the question, how long were they pretending to be a family? How old were the kids when they actually got put with this fake couple to pretend to be a family, right? Were they like little babies and stuff like that, and this couple were actually raising these 2 from that point? Is that how long that they actually had these girls to actually get to where they believed what was going on? It's kind of hard to say. So I mean, I don't know. It's just one of the things I keep thinking about over and over again as far as that goes, is the whole family, because they were pretending to be a family. At what point did they know? So I don't know. Oh, and I made a quick Facebook post saying, here I'm at Black Widow. I'm about ready to watch the movie. I hope this is good. An old buddy of mine makes a comment. And I say, yeah, the movie was pretty good and everything. And it kind of gave me like a Rogue One feel. And I'm going, Rogue One feel, huh? And I didn't really think about it that way until after he brought it up, to be quite honest with you. So I'm sitting there going, okay. I'm like looking at, trying to remember what I'm watching the movie. I'm like, okay, where is he getting the Rogue One feel to it? Now, the only way I can kind of see like a Rogue One feel being into this is like they're gathering up their team to go to find the Red Room, which like in Rogue One, they're trying to find like the plans for this Stardust program, right? So I kind of see the similarities there, and to be quite honest with you, that's where I think like the similarities pretty much end, because we all know that Rogue One, spoilers if you don't, that Rogue One turned out to be a suicide mission. Nobody who went on that mission survived. Hell, not even the guy who was like trying to run the Death Star program. He didn't survive that movie, right? So as far as like Black Widow goes, the only one who actually died at the end of this movie was the big bad guy, right? So, I mean, I guess I kind of see like the Rogue One feel, but I don't really see all the comparisons to that movie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. All film is subjective. Maybe you're seeing something a little bit differently than I am, but as far as like comparing the two and seeing like if they feel the same, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. So now that Red Guardian and Melina are off with this pack of Black Widows, what are they going to do with these girls, right? I mean, they got all these girls that are trained assassins and all that other stuff. What are they going to do with all of them? I mean, they're just basically a whole bunch of Natasha Romanoff's just waiting to be set off. So I wonder if how long do you think we'll actually get before we see any of these characters again, right? So I don't know. Let me just think about that in the comments down below. I mean, I thought this movie was pretty good. I thought the villains were kind of so-so, even though that they kind of like, I don't know, they were cool, but at the same time, they seemed like they didn't use them like to the full advantage that they could have been, right? But other than that, they were good. I mean, I'm not saying that they were like the crappiest villains I've ever seen, but it was good. And this movie was pretty damn badass. Now, the director was asked in an interview the other day of whether or not if she thought that they could actually have a sequel, and she said yes. Now, I don't know anybody who makes a movie is going to say, do you think there could be a sequel? And not one of them is going to go, no, we can't make a sequel to this movie. Now, this being a prequel, and we do know that Black Widow does die in Endgame, if they did a sequel, how would they do the sequel? Would they do the sequel with the cast that's remaining, or would they do a sequel with this one like maybe in that time period between Infinity War and Endgame? They could do one there, maybe. I mean, maybe there's something there, because she was kind of like running the Avengers a little bit, or at least that they were kind of making it seem it was. Maybe there was something going on with that. I don't know. That's a possibility. So, I don't know. Did you see Black Widow in the theaters? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you like it? Where does this rank with you with all the other MCU movies? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, this is the first official feature film for the Phase 4. What do you think? Was this Phase 4 material? Let me know in the comments down below. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I can't wait to watch this thing again. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.